Transitioned. We're live.
Good evening and welcome to Chair League Match for the Night. Tonight's game we have is MHS Tigers versus Territorial Pissing. Should be a good one. We see a lot of good stuff out of Territorial Pissing the last time we casted them. MHS Tigers, I believe this is their first game, so we'll see how this goes for them.
Yeah, it's always an exciting time to see what a new team brings to the chair league scene. So I am excited to see what the MHS Tigers will be able to bring tonight.
Yeah, a lot of times too, in these chair league games, we're in Division 3, so we might see a little bit different comps than we're used to seeing at higher levels, but I think that makes it more fun in all honesty. You see some characters not often played or played out of what you normally see them in, so it'd be cool to see some differences or see what happens tonight.
Yeah, so it looks like we'll be on Infernal Shrines tonight, and I really like that map. I think it brings a wide variety of options that you can really choose to attack or try to be more cautious for that double soak approach. Or just go all out for the shrines. So I'm curious to see which way these teams will build their comps, and we'll see how it pans out.
Completely agree. A lot of it we see syncing up where people either go for the global presence and able to soak and get to that shrine really quickly, or you get some of that, like you said, double soaking early on. So we'll see if one team tries to take one approach versus another. I know Territorial Pissing has, in the past that we've seen them, I mean, we've only cast them one game and played against them one game. They have prioritized a little bit that global presence, so maybe we'll see that pop up here.
So we are getting into the draft now. Everyone is ready to go. And MHS Tigers has first pick and first ban here.
Nick, I am not seeing that on the stream.
That's because you're 2 minutes behind, man.
Okay, good.
Yeah. So Murky Ban is extremely common down here. Like it's not just a frustrating to play against. He also brings a lot of utility to the team now with those marches and stuff on shrines and stuff like that, where there's one area where people are clumped up.
And KT is just a very strong hero on this map. In general, just being able to throw those large flame strikes, getting that AoE damage on the shrine, hitting multiple heroes, and clearing the minions at the same time.
And MHS Tigers will have first pick here, so we'll see what they go for. And that Ragnaros pick is just like Ragnaros on any map is just so good right now, and especially on this one where he can jump in that shrine and jump in a keep and still hit the shrines from that location.
Yeah, he's also probably the best defending hero in the game right now, especially on this map. Being able to just soak up all of that Punisher damage when he uses his Molten Core to take over the fort or keep.
Yeah, I think that's very crucial on the defensive end, where you can maybe give up an early push and maybe soak even during it, and being able to defend with one or two with that Ragnaros. It allows for a very good early game defense and especially late game.
And then we have
How do you guys feel about Tastar being picked up first pick for, I believe it's Territorial Pissing on the red side here. So where do you guys think about the TAS variant?
I think that with the variant right next to it, it's going to be difficult to answer, because one of the best counters to Tassadar is variant with the shield breaker, especially now that the talents have switched from 13 and 16. So I guess we'll just have to see how that goes. But in terms of Tassadar overall, he's got great wave clear since his changes. I'm sure he'll be great at picking up minions on the objectives here. He's got great poke, great lockdown. I guess the question is whether or not they will have a second support to back that up.
Yeah, and Varian just a really good counter if they don't have Lucio banned or if they want to pick him, because Lucio is Variant. You see a lot of Lucio popping up and Varian counters him. So the fact that they took Varian might allude to the idea that they might take Lucio with Tassadar there, and that seems to be a very common thing lately.
Yeah, in fact, we saw that in the last game that they played, having the Varian and Lucio combo together. And it seemed to work out very well for them.
Now, how do you feel about the Diablo and Brightwing? I think Brightwing is a very good healer on this map. It allows for that global presence. And Diablo being able to fight a little more in close quarters, I think the APOC could come up huge here.
The close quarters of the objectives on this map make Diablo extremely powerful. I definitely agree with you there.
And there we go.
Despite
Lucio banned out, recognizing the Varian pickup. So sorry to interject there, but I really think that was a smart ban to ban out Lucio, seeing the Tastar Varian on the opposing side.
And I guess the
Yeah.
red team here banned Tychus just because they might be going double tank. But we'll have to see what they do with that.
Yeah, Tychus with Odin on this map is just really powerful. Getting to that shrine, you can hit shrine from other side, and if you have Diablo Ragnaros lockdown, he will shred somebody with the Odin. So I'm guessing that was their thought process, and not letting them get Tychus in that sense.
Yeah, definitely a double ban purpose there. Probably alluding to a double warrior pick for them as well, and eliminating the combo effect from Ragnaros and Diablo. I think that's a great insight there, and I completely agree. Tychus is a very strong hero.
Now, I am not at all surprised to see Malfurion picked up here. He is probably the strongest healer at this point in the game. And that Twilight Dream always can just turn a game, just with one click of a button.
Yeah, I completely agree. The Melf Tastar combination is extremely strong. It allows for Melf to play a little more utility, which Melf's utility is phenomenal. I mean, you've got the Twilight. It allows Melf to maybe pick up Ice Block for a little bit of safety, and then you can go really into that root stun combination, allowing Raynor to really pick up some heavy damage.
Yeah, I expect Raynor to go full Executioner build with the Root, or even the Tassadar slows on his auto attack.
Absolutely. The Varian Melf combination should really indicate the auto attack Executioner build from Raynor.
Holy melee.
That is exactly what flashed into my mind. Couldn't agree more there, Cody. And I'm a little afraid for Greymane. He doesn't have burst healing coming from Brightwing, and that's a lot of lockdown potential for the red team here with Varian and Melf Roots. So I'm a little afraid for the Greymane pickup. As far as for the map itself, it's a great pickup, but hopefully he'll be able to stay alive.
I think the issue they're going to run into is Territorial pissing. Everybody's going to jump into Malf and Raynor and Varian, and Malf's just going to silence the whole team. It's just going to be catastrophic.
Yeah, that could be extremely painful. So hopefully MHS Tigers will be able to avoid that. But building that heavily into melee, it is going to be difficult to avoid that huge Melf silence.
I feel like the team is almost built around isolation. If you land an APOC correctly, and whether you go expulsion zone or grab, bomb, or Zarya, will allow them to maybe isolate somebody so Greymane can just go ham. But I mean, with the Sonya pickup here, we have another awesome AoE hero that's just excellent at clearing these shrines. So
yeah, definitely. And just draft here, I'm going to give the draft to Territorial Pissing, just because they have a stronger comp based around that Executioner and getting Raynor the damage. But I do think what's might happen early game, and this will have to be something they'll be careful about, is that MHS can really get an early lead, because Raynor's damage will be so low along with Sonya and Tassar's damage that if they pull off an early lead and get it out of reach of Territorial Pissing, that could cause issues. So we'll see if that happens. And also getting Zarya into that Varian shield breaker. I don't know if Varian will go shield breaker, but that gives him a reason to with Zarya on the map.
Oh, I definitely think that would be a good pickup for shield breaker, knowing that that Zarya shield is going to be a large lifeline for Greymane. So if you can get through that quickly, I think that makes Greymane very vulnerable. So I would expect a shield breaker to come out on the Varian side. Now, how do you think they're going to split in the early game for lanes? Do you think anyone's going to stay in a 4-1 and try and double soak and keep heavy pressure? Or do you think everyone's going to fall into kind of a default 1-3-1?
What I would expect is Rag top against Tassadar, and then having that rotation mid with the 4 of them, so Raynor can pick up stacks, and they can maybe get somebody out with the Diablo, Zarya, Brightwing, Greymane, maybe flip over a Sonya or a Varian. And I expect Sonya to probably go doing camps almost as soon as they pop up, trying to get those camps for that first shrine spawn. Or right as the shrine spawns, rather.
Yeah, absolutely. Sonya is still top dog when it comes to getting those early camps and getting that lane pressure.
So as soon as we get in the game here, we'll start with the Brightwing here. He's on his Commodore 64.
Slow and steady wins the race, right?
Yeah, get that hamster back on the wheel there, Gar Chomp Chum.
Come on, Brightwing, I believe in you.
Can't he just phase shift into the game at this point?
Yeah, you expect it.
He's saving it. Saving that cooldown, man. Saving that cooldown.
It will be interesting though to see if Sony goes in too deep and they just dive her. That could be some problems too. Okay, on blue side we have War Sub on Zarya, B-Blob on Greymane, Death on Ragnaros, fitting, and Garchomp Chum on Brightwing, and Merlinix on Diablo.
And for the red squad, we've got Providence on Varian, Azik on Tassadar, Dr. Dog on Malfurion, The Great Guru on Sonya, and Paulite on Raynor.
We'll see if we get some esports. I definitely think that Territorial Pistons at a disadvantage this level 1 fight, so if they try to take something here, it may result in some issues for their team. We'll see what they do. I was looking through talent, not seeing anything too crazy.
Melf seems to be waiting it out. There it is. Okay, we went with the Innervate build, and I think that's pretty standard. I mean, I like to go the scouting drone on this map. I think there's a lot of bushes that you can play to your advantage when you've got that vision, but being able to make sure Raynor, I guess, has that mana when he needs it will play into it.
I'm really surprised that Territorial Pistons here is not rotating Raynor to get those stacks on his Seasoned Marksman. Like, I think this is a loss here, that him not rotating between mid and bot.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think the faster you can get that early game, and especially when you're already doing a 3-lane split, you can have Raynor rotate easily, at least between 2 lanes, and try and get those stacks up in the early game.
And Sonya is getting low top. We see Malf rotating up to give her some support, but she's not careful here. It could be bad.
And it looks like Gear Chomp Chum did disconnect from the game, so we're going to have to pause it here for a moment.
Let's talk about some of these. Let me see. Particle Grenade on Zarya is pretty normal. Cocktail on Greymane, you see it come in now and then when you have a poke, so he's going for more of the range build. Sulfurous Hunger is pretty normal. Brightwing, that's... Oh, they got it unpause ready? Oh, wait, he says. Okay. Wait.
Hold on. Go ahead and give a countdown and then hit it.
Okay, there we go. So pretty normal talent builds. See if there's anything weird. The Clarity build is extremely weird on Malfurion when their only real mana user is going to be Tassadar.
Yeah, I was kind of... Tassadar, Raynor doesn't use a whole lot of mana. I was a little surprised by that. Tassadar going to Scion Fusion, I think, on this map makes a lot of sense. And Brightwing going for kind of the basic safe unfueling spray, which I would think maybe could have got away with a bribe on this map, but I can understand why you want to just make sure your heals are being out there and consistent.
We see Territorial Pissing getting level 4 first before the Shrine, which is good. I think it'll help them if they can get in the Shrine pretty quickly, but they're running out of time quicker than they can get there. We see Sonya diving in. It's that heavy over thing. Varian's caught out. You may see a quick kill here if they can isolate.
Looks like he is able to escape, but Sonya
He is
and
able to get out,
Varian
and,
getting really low.
Yeah, and this is what I was worried about.
Just took a little too much time for Territorial Pissing to really get down into it. Greymane and Rag are going to clear that extremely fast every time.
Yeah, and that issue with that early level power of Territorial Pissing is kind of weak. So they knew this was going to happen. It's just how much are they going to lose for this early game because of their picks.
Yeah, and we see that a lot with almost all variant comps. I mean, you've got to play for the late game. You've got to just try and buy yourself some time and not take too much early game pressure. So I'm not surprised, especially seeing a variant comp. But specifically, MHS has a very strong early game. So we'll see if that is too much to handle.
Yeah, and I think MHS kind of lost a little bit there when they should have split on that Shrine capture and soaked the lanes, because their experience lead they got from the wall is now negligible because of Sonya soaking top. So missed opportunity, I think, by them.
I would almost always recommend splitting on the first Immortal, unless maybe you have a Sylve and you're going for a very heavy push comp. But getting that early game soak means so much more than the wall. And we see that in having Territorial Pissing, lose that Immortal and stay even or get ahead on experience.
Yeah, and a little bit of B-stepping here, man. I'm surprising did not see Sylve banned or picked, but I've seen people not do that before on this map. It's just awkward sometimes. This Tassadar slowly losing bot
Sonya
too.
turned it around up top and is getting a little bit of control on Rag.
Yeah, pushing him back behind the wall. He's really low right here.
Yeah, those focused attack.
Tass is going to lose all of bottom lane soak, as Greymane was able to force him to have a full retreat as well. And then we see no rotation down to get that soak.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Still, that Raynor not soaking that they're getting the double lane for a stack. Really, I think he's missing some opportunities here.
But we do see him building a little towards focused attacks and revolutionary overdrive. So he is going for that pure auto attack build.
We see this engage here. Sonya is caught up, and down she goes. That quick melee damage and isolation.
Oh, Greymane with the aggressive dive. And yeah, Territorial Pissing, I think they just got to back out of this and try and soak. I don't think they'll be able to re-engage into this.
No, and they need to play for that late game. Their comp is a late game comp. They have to play for it. They need to go soak their lanes, get their experience, make sure this doesn't do as much damage as you can, and just soak what you can and get that 10 quickly.
Ooh, Varian's going to be under some heavy pressure here. All right, escapes to the bottom. Just completely abandons. Probably the smart play there.
You still have Sonya split top, which I think is a good idea here. I really think they should send someone by to soak that lane on MHS's side. They might be trying to go for this keep and a quick kill.
Yeah,
with
I think they're going for the fort, and
And there's the Molten
I'm
Core.
a little confused on death. Nick, what do you think on taking Rag over there?
I think it's okay. I would have liked to see him swing that hammer right away and try to get a stun or two, or to have his team try to full engage to keep him there, so to get some extra value out of it. But I mean, it'll be up soon enough. It'll be up by the next altar or shrine, so it's not too bad that he used that up.
Okay, one thing I am noticing is a little bit of a strange comp from the Garchomp Chum on Brightwing here, taking the Soothing Mist range at 1, and then Polymorph deals damage at 4, followed by Phase Shift. I'm not a huge fan, and then followed by Emerald Wind, so we'll see how it plays out for him. I do like Phase Shift. I don't see the unstable Polymorph coming out very often, so I'm going to have to keep an eye on that one.
We do see Cursed Bullets out of Greymane, so I loved Cursed Bullets, and it's a skill shot, but if you can get somebody hit with that, you are going to level them quickly. You don't see it very often.
I mean, I don't think he'll have a problem. I don't think he'll have a problem hitting that with Varian and Sonya in their front line.
We're also seeing Lava Wave out of Rag, not seeing the Sulfurous Smash.
Oh, Graviton Surge.
Ooh, Tastar caught out, blown up by Greymane there.
That looked like a really good engage from Territorial Pissing, but they just couldn't get someone down quick enough. And Rainer's damage really starts coming around on 13 and then 16. So I think you're going to see that until they get that 13 to be able to fight those fights.
I agree. I actually think they've done a very good job only having 2 deaths to this point, because they are fighting the uphill battle until Rainer can start punishing Greymane when he jumps in.
Yeah, I think what might arise here is this is an Arcane Punisher, so this could push all the way. They got to be careful not losing too much on here, just trying to get it over the wall quickly and kill it before they can take advantage. When it pushes
yeah, they've got to bait this one over the wall as fast as possible, because I think what we're going to see here is Lava Wave does have 30 seconds. Okay, so that one won't be available during the initial push.
Molten Core, I think, is about to be back up. So
I think Molten Core should be up. This is a very scary one. Arcane does so much damage.
See if they can get it over the wall here. There it is.
It is over the wall, and it is to the north side. That is a good sign as well. Rainer's passive did pop there, but it does look like they're going to have enough damage to survive and keep their keep alive.
Looks like MHS is not happy with leaving. They want to stay in here and take this. So we'll see if it catching themselves out here a little bit. Zarya is isolated. A little bit of lack of focus fire.
Oh, that was a great Graviton Surge, catching 4 members in it.
Yeah, what I didn't like there is Sonya and Varian charged or used their spear on different targets. And wow, Greymane, what a beautiful Emerald win there.
Amazing job by MHS just getting their Zarya out and then being able to turn the fight. And I think it was a lack of focus on Zarya or Sonya and Varian's part that really caused that fight not to go better for Territorial Pissing.
Yeah, I really think their comp having primary damage duty on Rainer, he needs one target to focus, and I really think they need to focus their charging and blow up one person and then take that 4v or 5v4 engagement as a follow-up.
Yeah, and Malf has yet to get in there to be able to silence yet, even with all that melee. So really good job by MHS just keeping their range, picking on the people that get close enough and not letting Malf get in on them. So.
Yeah, I think Grab Surge was a great pickup by Zarya. It has proved to save them on a few occasions here.
I completely agree, and I just think Territorial Pissing, you guys need to get 13, get Rainer the Giant Killer, and then 16 to get the Executioner, just so that he can start laying people out, because he will once he gets those abilities.
Yeah, and I think Varian picking up, if he's able to...
But he does have a little bit of time to go still, and I'm not sure if they have it to spare.
What were you thinking, Nick?
I would really like to see Varian pick up that Shield Breaker, especially now that Brightwing took Shield on Teleport. And the Varian, I think that might give them the burst that they need to get through that and able to blow someone up that they need.
Completely agree. And there's 13. We'll see if they'll try to take a fight before 16 hits, but I think they need to.
And
yeah, I do like this Lava Wave bottom here, recognizing that they pushed bottom to keep and allowing their lane pressure to stay.
We're going to see a good fight engage here. So we can get some focus fire.
Great cleanse by Melf to get Raynor out of there.
There's a silence. Huge
That's a good
silence.
silence.
And that leap onto Brightwing pushes them all back. They're able to clean up 3 members. Looks like Diablo's going to be coming right back up, though, having 100 souls.
A great turn of event. I mean, level 13. I wanna say Dr. Dog did a great job of getting Raynor out of that Graviton Surge and out of that APOC with that cleanse, because that was a great follow-up APOC to the Graviton Surge, and I think if they lost Raynor, they had no chance there.
I completely agree, and that was a really good job of Territorial Pissing. Recognize they have 13 now. They can get those abilities. They can use those and get an advantage, and they were able to take out that Giant Killer now on him.
And he does take Shattering Throw, so I think that's a huge pickup.
I would like to see him try to follow up on the next Immortal jump right here. Stunning 4 people.
Yep, they were a little far back.
Right wing is caught.
But a great follow-up route there.
And once 16 gets hit, this damage is going to get way
very
stronger.
Focus, yeah. Great leap over by Sonya there, recognizing that Diablo would not have the souls to come back up. That was a worthy dive.
Sonya going deep. Could be bad news for Sonya if she's not careful.
Stayed a little deep there. After the leap, stayed a little deep. I would agree. Lava Wave coming out.
They gotta be okay. Good. I was worried that Ragnaros was gonna keep chasing there and get turned on and die. So good on him to recognize that they were turning back and he moved away.
And I think at this point, I would like to see just some camps picked up by Territorial Pissing and get the lanes pushing back, because they are still fighting against Lava Wave, and they are going to struggle with map control.
Yeah, that Lava Wave definitely hurts MHS's team fight ability, but being able to push whatever lane they're not in is a pretty strong ability, so we'll see if it comes helping later on.
And Territorial Pissing thinking better about that engagement, recognizing that Sony was not quite there. A huge leap over by Sonya.
See Malf trying to worm his way up there to silent. That damage is starting to really come out. See, Raynor's damage has jumped up now into first on his team. He was down into second on his team, or third on his team below Sonya and Tassar, so you're going to see that damage just keep creeping up. He did not go Executioner. What are you doing? You're killing me, Polite. You're killing me, man.
Yeah, I really don't think Bullseye is beneficial enough when Executioner with the Malf, Tasdar, Varian. I mean, I'm not sure. I'm not sure I like that one.
Yeah, I think he's just gonna miss out on a lot of damage. I mean, they're doing okay now because of that 13 Giant Killer talent, but that stun on the Q, you have so much lockdown already. Do you need that extra stun? I don't think so. So we'll see if it pays off for him, but I definitely think it's a missed talent pick.
Well, we are gonna see an even tier fight, a complete 5v5 here over this next shrine, so this one should be good. Sonya a little by herself.
She's gotta be careful here. She's got to get blown.
But her team does come in and are able to take out Brightwing and push them all back.
Yeah, they're trying to engage back in, which I think is a mistake on their part. They should not be engaging right now.
I don't think they can afford to engage back in. I think MHS needs to give this one back out, recognize that they still have their fort in this lane. They should have a very easy time defending this with Ragnaros. But they cannot afford a Greymane death here.
And he fires off his shot, uses his ult, but doesn't follow up on it. Greymane, that is. And this pressure is starting to be really heavy. You know, Territorial Pissing's getting in the groove with their abilities and stuff. So we're going to see if they can keep this push going.
That was an early Molten Core by Rag, though. I would have liked to to see him wait until the Immortal jumps over. And then also, he took it from the front of the fort, which wasn't a big deal there, but if you're expecting the enemy team to be pushing in on top of you, you don't want to be coming out on the front of the fort. Just a little thing.
I completely agree. I think that's a misstep that Death, was fortunate to get out of there because we see such the heavy lockdown on Territorial pissing.
I think this is a good engage for
as well.
Yeah. I think it's
Which
a good
I agree.
follow-up.
I think recognizing that they have the 5v4, I agree with that call.
And we'll see, like, if Ragnaros keeps trying to put that pressure top with his waves to keep it pushed in. I think if they keep pressure on this, keeping fort pressure, they should be able to get an advantage somewhere where someone has to go and split, and they'll have a 5v4 ability. This is a little greedy. This could cause some issues.
I think this is extremely greedy.
I
Sonya with the big
completely
lead,
agree.
Diablo with a nice APOC.
But Diablo does go down, and then Rag falls from that Twilight Dream.
Yeah, definitely a mistake by their part.
Yeah, I think the biggest mistake there is why. You just came out of 2 nice engagements. There's no reason to give the XP advantage back to Territorial pissing. And I think that is a big mistake.
And then this
Zarya getting caught up.
Yep, the Zarya turning back into Territorial pissing.
This is definitely going to cost them a keep, if not more.
Yeah, Ragnaros is up in 27 seconds, so they may not pressure it, and they may just try to go for the shrine or position for it.
I think that shrine timing saved MHS a keep there, because I do believe that they could have pressured in for that keep.
I still would have liked to seen them pressure in. I mean, it would have taken them probably 15 seconds to go in and kill that keep with all 5 of them alive. Especially
as they're turning around here.
Oh, they're going to get another kill, too.
Yep, that Greymane goes.
Great pickup.
I don't think they can pressure the keep just because there's Ragnaros on the other team. I think their best bet is to go to that shrine. It looks like they're going to do that.
Yeah, at this point, I completely agree. I don't think his trade is up yet, but it would be very close, if not.
We see Sonya get Ignore Pain, which should probably be a pretty big deal. Being able to just go in there and know that she won't die for those 6 seconds. There's 4 seconds, rather.
I do find it interesting seeing Melf pick up Shrink Ray and Storm Shield. I can see, definitely, as not every engagement has been relying on the Twilight Dream, so you don't need that extra second. But I'm a little surprised to see Shrink Ray come out.
I think the Shrink Ray is mainly in alms to that Greymane, because that Greymane just jumping on one person is so much damage. You kind of want to be able to lock him out. So if the Shrink Ray might be able to do that, and that's what they might have been thinking.
Okay, I could see that. And I guess he hasn't died, but what? No, he hasn't died at all. So it's actually been great positioning. So he wouldn't need that ice block either.
Yeah, and Rag did go the upgraded Molten Core, so he will be doing a lot of damage to people.
And we saw that he chunked Sonya quite a bit there.
But Territorial pissing is still able to just power through with that Immortal.
And if they're not,
Sonya leaping on the back line, taking out that Greymane. And then Diablo falling as well.
A great roots by Dr. Dog all game, allowing that Rainer to just reign supreme.
Yeah, and this should be game to close out with that Immortal. They focus their fire, right?
Yes, absolutely. A great game by Territorial pissing. A very good effort by the MHS Tigers. I just think it was a few late game decisions that really snowballed for them. And one that really sticks out to me is trying to take that aggressive camp. It really snowballed against them from there on, I think.
Yeah, I think a big part of what was going on is they have that early game power. So when they take those Immortals, the Infernals, they need to go to the other lanes and soak those to get a bigger lead. And they weren't doing that soak early on. And that allowed Territorial pissing to stay in the game long enough so Rainer could start dealing damage with Giant Killer. Sonya could start getting more damage. Tassadar could get more damage, those late abilities.
Yeah, they hit 10. I want to say within 30 seconds of Territorial picking up 10. And I would have really loved to see maybe a level and a half lead going at 10 would have been a much higher probability of them really applying that early game pressure and ranging that into the mid game.
Completely agree.
Well, congratulations to Territorial Pissing. You guys fought for your time early game, recognizing that you had that Varian double support comp. A great job staying to the plan. I definitely think you could recognize that they were giving up the early two shrines, recognizing that Greymane was going to take those, and they did a great job soaking. One thing to say MHS maybe didn't capitalize on their soaking enough, but I do think Territorial Pissing executed on their soaking and were able to hit that 10 mark with that Varian at a very similar time as their opponent.
Yeah, I definitely think that not like having those, getting the early shrines, you're going to get them as MHS with that comp, of that mass heavy melee comp. And you know that Raynor and Sonya are late. Raynor, Sonya, and Varian are all late game. Even Tacit are all late game heroes. If you need to push that advantage really early on, and they were getting the shrines, but they weren't splitting to get that other advantage in the other lanes. And I think not taking Sulfure's Smash was also a misstep, in the sense that they're going to be, if you can stun 3 or 4 of them that Smash, you're going to win those team fights.
Especially with the Graviton Surge from Sonya, or from Zarya. She was able to lock 3 people in at most team fights. Having a Sulfureous Smash to follow that up would be devastating.
I agree. I don't think they got enough value out of the Lava Wave. Yes, they were able to push waves back, but they never really got camp pressure to go with those lanes. So it eventually evened out. And the biggest thing with Lava Wave is you need those camps to go with it. And you need those camps to then be able to pressure that keep. But when you just have minion waves on keep, it's just not quite enough. So I don't think they got enough value out of Lava Wave. I completely agree, Nick. I think the Sulfureous Smash follow-up to the Graviton Surge with a Greymane would have done huge damage. So I think that was perhaps a misstep at the level 10 from Ragnaros. Otherwise, I actually think Death played a very good game. I think he had very good positioning, but I do think Sulfureous Smash would have been at a much higher success rate for the overall team.
Yeah, I do. I believe they played really good. Like Merlin X had really good engages, good Apox following up with Zarya's. It's just when you get those late game, Raynor, Sonya, Tass, Varian, they're going to start, doing what they do. And if you don't have the ability to really isolate someone, then it's going to cause problems.
I also think that the Greymane recognized that he was in danger when you have the Sonya, Tessa, Varian, the amount of lockdowns. So I don't know if he was intending to go straight Q build from the start and just play passively. His ult choice as well. I thought initially maybe that was because he'd be able to land them better given the lockdown from Grab Bomb and APOC. But I think ultimately, with how the grab bombs were landing, if he was able to just jump in there and just cleave his way through and just go for the throw, he would probably ended up getting more kills and getting a lot more damage out.
I do agree with that.
One thing that I saw Brightwing pick up here is the phase shield at 7. And perhaps I missed it throughout the game, but I really didn't see them capitalize on a phase shield to perhaps a Greymane or someone before an engagement to give that extra 400 shield of health. I don't think that was capitalized on, and the biggest thing with that is you use your phase shift before the engagement or as the engagement takes place to really increase that health pool. And that's something I didn't recognize getting capitalized throughout the game. And then I'm still going to go ahead and switch to Territorial Pissing and pick on Paul Light for picking up Bullseye at 16. I'm not sure about it. I still really think the Executioner would have done better for the team. Hard to say that coming out of a win, but I do think that was a strange pickup at 16.
Yeah, when you have the Varian, Malf, lockdown on somebody and the slows from Tacitar's auto attack, that Executioner is going to be procced 100% of the time, and you are going to be shredding the other team. I mean, they did a good job and they won, but to the point where you could have been shredding them way before any of that happened.
Absolutely. I did like Melf picking up the Elun's Grace at 4, and that's mainly on the emphasis of the extra range for entangling roots. It's not a skill that I typically pick up currently on Malfurion, but with this team comp of having the Varian, the Sonya Leap, the Raynor Season Marksman build, I agree. Getting those roots out just a touch farther, and we saw that with the the Zarya catch out after the taking their camp on the top lane. It allows for that lockdown just a little bit farther, and once you lock them down enough, Varian gets in range. That we didn't see anyone escape from that. So I did like that pickup there from Malfurion at 4 as well.
And thank you, Sub Monsterine, for the follow.
Welcome to the frat.
So this was just a best of 1 game tonight. So,
unfortunate.
Yeah. So it is over. Territorial Pissing takes it, with a close win. But we are all done for the night. We weren't able to schedule any other games. Thank you, Merlin1824, for following and pledging the frat. So thank you all for joining us. If anyone needs any games casted in the future, feel free to just let us know. And we look forward to seeing you all again. So thank you.
Take care. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, everyone.